Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you what I did in month 4 of my stop motion animation project. I had a lot of fun this month, so let's just jump right in. It's month 4 of this animation project and I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, but I'm not super happy with the background, so I think this month I'm going to try to adjust some things. And also, I'm not loving the color, so I'm going to try to figure out some different color. I really like that teal color that I used for digitally sketching it out, so maybe I'll try to figure something out to get a closer color. I'm very excited to continue, so let's just jump in. So at the end of last month, I basically finished up the background layers, and I realized that I don't like the look of them all edited together. So I went back and I took a nice picture of the light box all assembled, and I decided that to solve my issue of the foam board poking around the sides, that I'm going to add some layers in the foreground that will hide it when I take the picture. So I got to work and I started cutting out a bunch more of these cucumber looking flowers that are going to be attached on the side and the front layers. I cut out the silhouette of a bunch of leaves and I used some paper clips to clip them in place on the layers just so I could see where I wanted them and how I wanted the placement. And that's really helpful because it allows you to just temporarily see where you want things and you can move them around later if you don't like it. So I marked out where I wanted all the leaves and I started adding all the details. I cut the same details that I do for every other leaf, and I used tracing paper and sketching paper to add detail. I had a lot of fun working on this part. It kind of felt like doing a little puzzle of sorts, and I really enjoyed that. Once I finished creating all of the little extra pieces, I glued them onto their respective layers, and here I just wanted to show them all off, and then here is all of them together. I thought this looked pretty good, so I put them all together with the background. I set up my camera and I looked through the viewfinder to see how much of the sides they covered up, because that was my only issue, is that they covered a little bit too much. So I took a picture, and then if I didn't like something, I moved them back and made adjustments just so you could see more of the opening. Before we continue, I wanted to let you know that I have a Patreon page with a bunch of behind the scenes content. I have templates, I have Lightbox, I have animation updates, I have some videos. If you want to support me over there, please check it out. The link will be down below. Now back to the video. By day 4, I was done with the layers and I wanted to move on to some more animating. So last month, I didn't finish all of the birds taking off and joining the swarm that's going to attack the bird, so I finished that up. I went back to the robot and I decided to create the animation of the little hose going out of its beak and into the water and then starting sucking up mud. So that was really fun. I enjoyed doing the little bubbles going up the hose, and I thought that was really fun. But overall, it was pretty simple. I made the mud liquid slosh into its clear belly, which I was really excited about this whole time. That's why I made the belly clear, because I wanted that to show. So I did that and added it all into the finished animation. At day 5 through 8, I kept working back and forth between animating a few more little frames of the robot bird and a few frames of the birds attacking. I wanted the birds to swirl around and almost like a projectile to strike the bird with their beak, and then they would fly away and then zoom around for more. But as I was doing it, I wasn't loving it, if I'm being honest. Because there's 6 birds, it's a little bit crowded. All of the birds, I used the same little frames to animate them so they look identical, and I think maybe that adds a little bit to it looking weird. But I'm gonna go back and fix that once I clean things up a bit. I decided to kind of thin that out a little bit. I was going to have 3 of the birds decide that, okay, 1 hit was enough and then they're gonna fly off, and then 3 of them would swirl back around and start attacking. I want the robot bird to get startled and then get up and start like crawling, climbing away up onto that aqueduct, and then that's when a cyborg will interact with it. So I also have to start thinking about how the cyborg is going to come into the frame and how it's going to spy on this whole scene and see what's happening. So I'm keeping that in mind while I'm creating this. And I thought that the 3 birds that fly away could all fly in that direction, and then it'll lead your eye kind of towards that, but I'm not 100% sure on it yet. But yeah, I spent a few days on that, and then I was feeling a little demotivated because I wasn't loving how these looked, so I decided to go and cut out some of the robot birds. Since I had animated up to like 200 frames of this robot bird moving, there were a lot of robot birds that I could start creating and cutting out. And I did this in month 1 with 10 robots, but now I can do basically all of them. So that's what I spent a good rest of this month doing. Okay, so I'm here recording the new photo with all of these layers on the sides, and I'll be honest, I'm not loving this green color. At first I thought that I would really like it because it's intense and it's a really pretty green in person, but I feel like on camera it's just way too intense and I just don't like how it looks. Maybe I've just been working with it too long, but this color scheme I feel like is a lot prettier and a lot nicer, but I don't have that exact shade of like bluish green with these LEDs, but I'm gonna cycle through some of these colors and see which one I might like. And this is like a light baby blue. In my camera I'm looking, it's like purple almost. That's the real purple and it's way too dark. I don't like the pink, I don't like the red, don't like the orange, I don't like the yellow, and I don't like the green. Either maybe stay with the green, but I don't know. Or this light blue. That's what I'm in between. But let me know what you think. I'll also take pictures of them and then see how they look on the tablet because it can look a lot different. But yeah. I copied them over onto the laptop and then traced them off of the screen onto cardstock. And then I used extra cardstock, sketching paper, and tracing paper to add all sorts of details. This was fun, but it was a bit tedious. I love seeing just how many of these there end up being. There's quite a bit of duplicates, so this is about maybe 100 robots instead of 200, but you know, it's still a lot. And I just love seeing this huge pile of paper birds come together. It's really fun. Okay, so I finished all of the birds, and here they all are. I'm so happy. I love seeing these little cutout birds like everywhere. I have like 100 or something, and I have them all here. I'm a little bit concerned because I didn't cut these out 100% perfect because I traced them and then I cut them, and then you know, things don't always line up 100%. So I'm a little worried, like the part where the hose goes down and stuff, that it's gonna be a little jumpy because it's not perfectly lined up. But we will see. Maybe it adds to the look, maybe it won't happen at all. So I'm excited to film it and put it all together. Once I'd cut all the robot birds out, I took pictures of them to put into the program. And I figured out what I want to do with the color. I am taking a picture with this green light, but I'm not using the green light for the finished animation because I can go into IBIS X Paint, the drawing program I use, and I can adjust the hue. So I'm going to kind of a tealy color similar to my digital sketch, and I really like this a lot more. I think it's a lot more appealing to look at. And yeah, I edited all of the robot birds into the animation, and here is how it looks so far. And yeah, it looks a little bit rough because I didn't size them properly 100%, but what part concerns me the most is this very end where the hose goes into the water. It's supposed to be very still and then just the hose moves, but I have no clue what happened, but it just looks really, really rough. It's probably because I couldn't be super accurate, but it's kind of discouraging. So next month I will really sit down and figure that out. But yeah, that was it for this month. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!